Here we are, people, with our second homework set for Chapter 4. This deals with payroll. We have an employee here who has earned $37,000. That's the gross pay. And we're looking at some information then about Social Security, the FICA. And it says that the maximum limit for Social Security deductions is an annual salary of $137,700. So you can see we're way under that. We're going to have to pay some Social Security here. The Social Security rate is 6.2%, and Medicare is another 1.45. So the two combined, 7.65. And we want the tax amount. And here's the calculation down here at the very bottom. Shows you that you're going to take that 37,000, there it is right there, times that 0.062 plus the 0.0145, and those two combined 7.65, and multiply times the gross pay. It gives you 2,830.50, and here's your answer right here. Okay, sorry for the long pause there. We have an employee named Portia Grant. She's got a monthly salary of $8,888. Okay, that's pretty good money. Federal Insurance Contribution Act, FICA. Again, they give the rates. And they also give you some unemployment tax rates. Here's FUTA, federal unemployment tax rate is 0.6. State unemployment taxes are combined 5.4. They only apply to the first 7,000 of an employee's pay. We want the federal income tax withheld from her earnings. So we're not talking about unemployment taxes here, only federal income tax. And we're going to look at the calculation down there at the bottom of the screen. And you can see way down here at the bottom, you've got two amounts, Social Security plus the Medicare. Here's your Social Security, there's your Medicare. And so you're going to combine those two numbers, gives you total tax of $2,154.71. So your second response works there. Here's another employee. He's got a monthly salary of $5,240, and he's still making pretty good money. Gives you your rates for Social Security and for Medicare. We want the taxes withheld from this individual's earnings. Same calculation as the prior question. Here's the calculation for Social Security. Here's the calculation for Medicare. Combine the two, 1,151.56. Here's your correct response. Question 4. Here's an easy one. There's a wage and tax statement that you get at the end of every year. That's your W-2. So the fourth one down there, Number 5, talking about the state now rather than the federal rate that a state assigns. This is having to do with unemployment. It has to do with how many times you turn your workforce over. In other words, are you hiring and firing at a particular rate? That's called the merit rating. It's based on your history of hiring and firing. Last response, merit rating. This is kind of a ridiculous question. Federal unemployment taxes, we just make an acronym out of that, FUTA, and those again are unemployment taxes. Number 7, here it talks about the FUTA, Federal Unemployment Tax Act rate, and the state rate. Both taxes are applied again only to the first 7,000 of an employee's wages. Here we've got someone who earned 9,900. Only 7,000 of that relates to unemployment. Okay, and here's your calculation down here. We're multiplying the rates times 7,000. We get 420, and it's the second response. Number 8, here we have someone who earns 43,001 in the current year, gives you the rates. The upper limit, 137.7 for Social Security. Medicare, of course, has no upper limit. Calculation at the bottom of the screen there, 43.1 plus the combined rate, 0.0765. We do the multiplication, 3,297.15. Then number 9, employee earns 62,000 during the year. FICA rates are given again, 1.45% of all earnings. Gives the rates, these are so redundant. 7,000 is the only wage that applies here. But here's a very tricky question. You almost are always tend to ignore the little words at the very end. How much does the employee have to pay? Nothing. That's the responsibility of the employer. Number 10, this individual, Gary Marks, paid every month, gets 8,300 a month. Again, that usual discussion about the rates. And what are we looking for here? What is the amount of the employer's payroll tax expense? So remember, the employer has to match your Social Security and Medicare, and then also he's going to have to be responsible for FUTA and SUTA. Okay, so we've got some calculations that are not completely showing up. Let me screen down so you can get a good look there. paid. So here you've got 4 sets of calculations. First two relate to Social Security and Medicare. So it's the usual calculation there times the usual rates. There's his salary times the .062, that gives you Social Security, Medicare .0145, 120.35 for Medicare, and then the employer, now remember we're talking employer, has to also pay, in addition to matching Social Security and Medicare, he has to pay unemployment, but only on the first 7,000 times .00642, and then your SUTA rate .04 or .054, .054, another 378, combine all those numbers, tax paid by the employer, $1,054.95, and that ends your second set.